And we are live. So, okay, welcome everyone. Today's guest is Aneta Samkoff, head of all this podcast, and someone who is very passionate about conference, who is going to conference almost every week. And like we are also did a huge survey among all popular conference organizers and conference speakers. So we are going to bring the things about how to pitch, what to include in the pitch, on which conferences like we should pitch first, especially for the first time speakers. So we will cover a lot of tips and everything that you need to know about like these things. Also, Netta can help you about structuring the pitch and like everything. So we will cover everything. You just need to stay here and get the value in the next 20 to 30 minutes. So Aneta, thank you so much for coming, and like the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Adriana, for inviting me. This is actually the first time I appear in the uh, podcast or that
Nice,
kind of
congrats.
sentence on this side, not on the other.
Yeah. Usually you are recording the podcast episodes and like you are familiar face, but on another side. So welcome and congrats on
Exactly.
your first stage.
Thank you so much. And yes, this is a topic that I'm definitely very passionate about. I'm not at conferences every week, fortunately, but often enough. And they not only SEO conferences, we also go to iGaming conferences. We went to crypto conferences, so they varied. So I had the chance to see a very different types of speakers. I actually am an art historian by training, and I
Mhm.
myself visited many conferences as an art historian and also presented. So this is where my main experience is coming from.
Nice. Okay, let's go into focus, like
Mhm.
because a lot of SEOs are just like challenged by how to know like where I should pitch, how to structure my pitch, like and all the like the tips, like even before these things, like we can first share and talk the value how to choose a topic and how to choose the pitch.
Yes. So actually, there are like three main paths to the
Mm-hmm.
stage. And maybe we should start from that, like how to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can start wherever you think that like we
Sure.
should.
Yes, there are like three ways that we identified in the research we did together. First one, which is like very, very smart, and not many people think about it, is be ready to go. So just buy your conference ticket, go to conference, and prepare a talk, have it ready, and tell organizers like, hey, if someone drops out, if one of your speakers can't make it last minute, I'm ready with my speech. I can fill
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the spot. And this is something that Kyle Roof told us actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is how he got first time on stage, and he was ready with entire presentation. Someone dropped out, and like, yeah, we need someone to fill that gap. He went in, and then he was very well prepared. Of course, he practiced it. He did multiple runs, so he felt very comfortable on the stage that he got invited back the next year, and that way that conference opened door to many other conferences for him as well. So this
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And I love that you mentioned like that example, because like there are so creative examples how we enter the conferences, and people usually think, oh, I need to be famous, I need to be already speaker. No, there are so many conferences that like are accepting first time speakers like Brighton SEO. There are so many events, like whenever you are not feeling ready for the stage immediately, you can go with the podcast first, for example, with the webinar first, like you
Yes.
can share with people like, hey, I would like to like share the topics that I'm passionate about. Let me know if you would be interested like in the podcast first, and then you can expand
Mhm.
that topic and go to the conference organizers
Exactly.
to say, hey, I would like to speak in this.
Yes, absolutely. And this is actually how there are two other paths to the stage that identified. developed. So other speakers, for example, Koray Tuberg, or Olga Zar, Kasra Dash, they all started publishing case studies online.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
didn't teach at the conferences. They didn't even go to conferences, but they started publishing their research, their case studies, their work with clients, whatever they were passionate about, and that's how the invitations followed. Um, Another path is to build a community also through social media. So, for example, Jordan, or Georgia Tan, and Helen Yellins, they told us that they've been regularly sharing their findings on social media. Like LinkedIn is the main one, but also Instagram, Facebook, and that's how they were able to build a following and become recognizable. Especially Amanda told me that she did it through the pandemic, where you couldn't
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there were no conferences, no face-to-face meetings. She built that presence online, and
Because
especially,
all these platforms are kind of like small stages to the next bigger stage. So you
yeah,
basically, people can practice on all these platforms in a small LinkedIn post, in a small podcast idea, in a small YouTube channel, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like just to kind of like develop that idea. So like, hey, this is the exactly, because what I'm seeing across like all the speakers, like they need time, experience to develop the idea like from the start one. But like that is like the next stage. Here we are talking about the pitching. So you have so many different examples, opportunities to go there and pitch, like there is no like one way, and we are bringing some extreme examples so people can take something, combine something, like, and just like see that like it's so normal to do these kinds of things. We can't wait like 10 years to become, like stars, and then we are going to be invited. Maybe we are not going to be
yeah.
invited because we are not building the small brand around our passion to be visible in front of people who would like to hear more about like these things.
Yes, and important thing to keep in mind, you don't need huge engagement on these posts. Like you don't need them to go viral. Just recently, I actually had a podcast with Hank Wolf, who's like iGaming SEO consultant, and for example, it was entire session about social media. So many people just don't engage. There are so many lurkers behind there. uh, what matters is that people see your post, and that they see them regularly. Like you
Mm-hmm.
should not measure the success of your post by the amount of likes or comments. A lot of people just, especially in SEO, they are introverts. They don't want to go out there and like comment. They don't. They would read, and it will sink in. They will recognize you. They will start to remember you. They may even like connect with you. But like, don't get
It's a
started.
LinkedIn thing, definitely, because we are reading so many posts, but we are not liking. That's the LinkedIn thing, and like we don't want to
Yes.
be visible, we don't want to comment, but like we are remembering like these people, like so. Of
Yes.
course, that like we will not go viral, but like building the small community that you mentioned, building the small engagement, building the small group of people who are just like watching us, and like we are developing like these ideas across the posts, and like these like branding small things. So what do you think, like when we have some idea but we want to go to the next step, and like we want to build that pitch itself, like can
Mhm.
you go through the most important tips for the pitch itself, for the structure
Sure.
pitch, and like how we should do that?
Of course. Yes. So it's important that your talk or the pitch is not generic. It has to be very specific. That gives you a much greater chance of being accepted to a conference, because conference organizers, like, they want to know what's your topic about, and you have very little space to explain that to them. So don't say something like, the future of SEO,
Mm-hmm,
or like
mm-hmm.
the current trends um, in SEO, or current trends in e-commerce. That's also like very broad, but be very specific. For example, say something like how I how I how I saved the site, an e-commerce site after the HCU update, or um, like case study um, on like I don't know, CTR manipulation,
Yeah,
right? Like,
very specific. That is the thing. Very, very, very specific.
yes.
I think
Mhm.
that is like the biggest mistakes that like SEO speakers are doing in their pitching, because you have 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, you can't cover a lot. So
No.
basically, it's a one specific, one as niche possible topic that you can go. That is like where the most value will be bring on the stage. And
Yes.
like people are thinking too like, oh, I need to
Yes.
sound
Yes.
smart, I need to put in everything that I know. No, as simple as possible, as niche as possible. That
Yes.
is a talk for
Exactly.
20 minutes. Like
Yes.
we don't have
Yes.
like 2 hours there.
Yes, yes. And that can be something that you do every day. For example, like if you're doing SEO audits, for example, you could talk about how I automated my auditing workflow. That's very
Mm-hmm,
interesting.
mm-hmm.
And not everybody works in that. A lot of people, like, they specialize, some in content, some in off page, on page. If you do something so specific, like, for sure, other people would want to know that workflow, even though
Mm-hmm.
for you, it might appear like, oh, obviously that's how you do it, because that's how I do it every day. But
Yeah,
what
because we
makes
think if
me,
it's not
yeah,
hard, like it's too simple. But like that's it. Like what we can share, like where we can share the biggest value. That is like who we are. Like something that
yes,
we are doing every day, where we are most experienced, and like people will see how much experience we have there.
exactly. That's because that's another trap we fall into, that we think, oh, this is an obvious topic, like everybody knows how to do it, like I do
Mm.
it every day, so that must be very simple. Nobody's going to be interested in that. But this is just a wrong thinking. This is just a trap, because what you may be doing, I may never actually had a chance to do. But I would
Mm-hmm.
be very interested to learn how you do it, so that I don't have to reinvent it myself and waste like days or weeks, but model it myself on something that you already very much optimized and perfected.
Yeah, because you just need to bring your perspective, how you do specific thing. And like, I know it's so cliche, but like whenever we are thinking how to be authentic, like you just need to do what you already doing. You can't pretend to do something that you are not doing, like, but that is
Yes,
another thought that like people are thinking, like I'm not good enough. This is not interesting, like I'm lacking the confidence. But like that, you will see all the speakers, they are just like talking what they know in the simple way, like,
yes,
and we just need to be aware. Every day we will have like these thoughts. Of course, this is not good enough, it's not interesting, I am not smart, I need to learn more, I need to have more experience. All the speakers are having the same thoughts. The only difference is like if you are going to do anyway, because me, myself, and other speakers, like we have these thoughts, but I'm not allowing this thought to stop me from my future goals. Like,
exactly.
so yes, like I got some thinking maybe this can be better done like in that way, like, okay, I will do what I know now, and like that's it, like I can pretend to be someone else, but I can share a lot of knowledge and values, what I know today about specific topic. And just like to focus constantly, okay, what I know, not to allowing our brain to constantly talk about like what we else don't know.
Absolutely. And 2 points on that. First one is that pretty much every single speaker we interviewed said that they never feel like 100% confident, and
Mm-hmm.
some of them said like your first talk is not going to be good, like just accept it, it's just your first talk. But and second, um, think about this formula pitch. I have like a little formula pitch for you, so that it's not generic, but it's easy, very easy to come up. So
Mm-hmm.
you start with like a catchy title. You then go to a problem. You have to solve someone's problem. What is the main problem? You say so you start with the catchy title, you state the problem, then you go to the solution. You say what is the solution to that problem, and then you write briefly what attendees will learn. Because that's exactly what organizers are looking for. They want to know how all the listeners, what will the public benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that catchy title, problem, solution, and what other attendees will learn. This is like very simple formula. If you're trying to pitch to conferences, use this. This is makes it much easier for organizers to pick your topic because it's so focused.
Yeah, because that is the thing, like conference organizers wants to bring like the best people about like specific topics. So just
Yes.
like think, okay, how I can bring the most value. So really people who are listening this, getting the value, like, and like the most interesting part about SEO that like we are facing the same challenges across even like SEO audits, technical thing, SEO strategies. We are facing every day the same things. So just like share, okay, if I want to learn about this, what I need to do, and like put, like, and even like the short description, like we don't need to have like a full presentation ready for the pitch. It's just like in bullet points what I will share on the stage. So like it's like less than like one page or maybe 10 sentences, like as simple as possible, and like just like share your ideas of what you want to bring. You don't need to prepare your talks, like presentation, no, everything else will be developed, but just like focus on like these things that you mentioned, like what is pain point that like people are feeling, because that is the value of conference organizers that they want to bring on the stage.
Yes, and what is the solution? How you will solve that problem, right? And what will they benefit from? And then you add the catchy title, and you're done. So it's not even, it's pretty simple. The other important thing to remember is that conference organizers, like, they don't necessarily look for like the biggest names, because that's what we tend to think. Oh, I'm not super recognizable, like I'm not going to get accepted. But many of them like look for fresh faces, because if you go to conferences as often as I do, like oftentimes it's like one of the same person, I'm seeing like regularly here and there. I'm like, oh, I've seen them like so many times already. And you can go through the rosters yourself and check it out. That can't last forever, right? Like people will get bored of the same people. This is just a human nature. It's not saying that these people like are not doing great job. It's just like we like variety, we like difference, we want to see like different perspective, fresh faces. So they are always on the lookout for interesting topics from you. And they even say that, like, for example, Matt Singers, who organizes SEO in Vietnam, is told us, SEO master in Vietnam told us that he will accept a speaker who has better speaking skills over like someone like super theoretical. So it's very important for the applicants to practice your talk. This is more important than like the theoretical knowledge.
Yeah, definitely, because like people are not looking for 10 years of experience, like they are looking for your personality, how you are talking, how you are pitching, like what about your energy, what about your character, like if you are going to be bringing this value in interesting way, like, and that is very connected with our personality, like how we are talking. So, like anytime we are thinking and talking about our passion that we are interested in, like that is, like our practice. And then you're thinking, okay, how I can make this simple so also another person understands it. Because in a lot of cases we have like some specific value in our mind, but like the skill is how to talk about that so other people can understand it. And then
Yes,
that is like where we can divide that in the structure. And this is everything that we are kind of like practicing on the paper. Okay, how I will do this, how I will do this, what else I can bring. Then another day with the fresh eyes, like with a coffee. Oh, I can do this. Oh, this is not something that would people interested in. I can do this, like, so basically it requires time to go into your document, put the catchy title, like the pain point, the solution, and then think about the structure, how you would, because as more clarity you have in your mind, it will be much more clear for the conference organizers what you will bring to the stage, and they will be likely to accept you because they see clarity in your pitch, like. But if you are confused, if you don't see this like clarity, you can't like pitch in the proper way. So like everything is just like, it's taking time, it's taking few days to just like think, rethink, like share like these pitch with the other SEO speakers, share that like with Aneta, share that like with me, get additional feedback, get additional thoughts, and then like it's tweaking, like. And like I really see this like the biggest kind of fear of being rejected. But I'm thinking in the way, okay, I'm feeling that it will be the worst case scenario to be rejected, but like every day for any speaker who wants to do that, we are rejecting ourselves. So basically the feeling of rejection, we are already feeling it, like but like it seems much more easier for us to be rejected by ourselves every day, every minute of our work and everything, than being like rejected by others. But it's not about rejection, like people, these conference organizers, for example, they have like 20 speakers, 100 speakers, and it's just about the fitting time who would be, like. And
exactly.
whenever I'm pitching, like I'm getting rejections, I always ask like organizers, like, can you give me the feedback, like. And sometimes it's feedback, hey, I really love your pitch, you are in high, like level of the interesting topic, we just go with another topics that are kind of like more relatable, and like, so it's not
Exactly.
about needs, about just like specific occasions that we have for that thing, but you can use the same pitch and go to the next conference.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Because and apply early, because many conference speakers like they like to get applications early because there's a lot of preparation. So the earlier you
Mm-hmm,
apply,
mm-hmm,
the bigger chance you have. And there were cases, for example, I heard from people where they didn't get accepted because somebody simply already filled that topic. So it wasn't
mm-hmm.
about the pitch. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
their choice of topic. It wasn't about them at all. It's simply someone who applied earlier than them already filled that spot. So
Mm-hmm.
you absolutely can't ever like take it personally. um
And
and
honestly, yeah, sorry for interruption. This is like the very, very important, because I was surprised in like when we did like these interviews, like with the conference organizers, I was
Mhm.
surprised that like even like they have speaker lineup 6, 8 months before the
Yes. Mhm.
conference,
Yes.
like, so that is the thing. Like if you want to pitch for this year is almost like too late. So preparing your pitch for the 2027 and going to the conference organizers, speakers, getting the feedback, getting the structure now, if you want to be on like this, because by the end of the year they already have like speakers, and they are just like doing like these speaker lineups, scheduling, because like organizing a conference is a big task, so they need to have prepared like all these speakers a long time before the conference.
Exactly. So a good idea is for this year actually to get idea for your pitch,
Mm-hmm,
prepare the
mm-hmm,
talk, go to these conferences, say to the organizers, hey, if someone drops out, I can step in. But they will also remember you. They remember your talking. You can actually talk to other people in the conferences, what topics they find interesting, what speeches they liked. so that you apply for 2027 if nobody happens to join,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? So
mm-hmm.
that going to the conference is also a good idea. You get to meet the organizers, you can ask them what topics are the most interesting for the audience. It gives you a much better feel, and it's also like much easier, I feel, in terms of like psychology, you feel more comfortable to apply when you know the people, when
Oh
you have
yeah,
met them.
that's so
And then
true.
it's
That's
also
so
easier to
true.
ask them for feedback, no matter what happens, whether you get accepted or not. You should always reach out and ask, hey, like, can you tell me something about my
Yeah,
pitch?
because those are the great opportunities that you are connecting with other SEO speakers, organizers, and you will feel more safe to, like to connect with them, to ask for a
Yeah.
feedback, to just like enter like this world of speaking. And, like everybody started somewhere, like, and especially like speakers, like they feel you because they started like long time ago. So, like especially in the SEO community, I see like people are so helpful, like, but I think we are just not asking them, like enough because we are ashamed. We are thinking people will not answer or something like that. But
Yes.
what I could notice, as more successful SEO is in terms of speaking, in terms of success, the more likely they will help you, they will answer to you, they will
Yes,
hop on the
absolutely.
quick call. So that is like the really gratefulness for the successful people. Whoever is successful, it's so down to earth because they made their success for the reason.
Yes, yes, exactly. And they not afraid to share it anymore because they know we all struggle with the same things.
Yeah, they're successful and they want to make other people successful because that's their purpose, that's their drives, like. So like especially when I started, whenever I reach, like some popular like people, like they are so open to share the knowledge because they are seeing you yourself, like in you,
Yeah.
themselves in you. So it's
Yes,
really nice.
exactly. From the past. Yeah. And absolutely, when you have a pitch, you have an idea, definitely share it with someone, with me, Adriana, with a friend, someone you feel comfortable with. This is so valuable because we have our each everybody has their own bubble. So it's really hard to
Hmm.
from different perspectives. So something that may be like super clear for you may not be clear for me, and when you share it with me or with your friend or someone else, then this will help clarify the topic and make it
Hmm.
the pitch and make it as optimized and easy to understand as possible.
Yeah, because yeah, I know this feels, like a lot of shame, like what if they are saying me you didn't do that right or something like that. But this is the growth, like we
Yes.
need to get the feedback, what's wrong, what is clear, what's not, just like to be able to grow to the future stages. So as soon as we are accepting that like we are not perfect and we don't need to be, that like it's very good to get this feedback, additional thoughts, as faster we will grow in our life, in our career, and like all these things.
Yes.
Okay. For the end of the call, what do you think? Like, what would be any additional tips about like pitching, like the for the conference talks that we maybe didn't mention, like in this time?
Mhm. And the most important is to also do the dry runs. So don't
Mm-hmm.
be afraid to do the dry runs. Talk it over like multiple times. I know it's boring, but when I was presenting or even doing a webinar, I would literally do it like 10 times over or 20 times, one and the same thing, because then you remember it, you feel more comfortable, you feel confident. Never skip that step. Don't try
Mm-hmm.
to wing it. It's a huge advantage on so
Yeah.
many levels.
And also because in 2 weeks I'm going to speak at Brighton SEO, and like the another colleague James, he mentioned like, hey, we can practice, like basically in the
Oh, nice.
speaker group. He said like, hey, if someone would like to practice with me, basically, like, and that's great idea, like I
Mhm.
connect with few people, and basically we schedule our talks, like, okay, 20 minutes you are presenting to me, 20 minutes I'm presenting you, and we will exchange ideas, feedback. It's so good to talk with other people, like, and see how it goes. Do you have enough time, and do you have like too much slides, just to
Correct.
kind of like be comfortable. So once we are on the stage, I know, like on the slide 10 I need to be on the, like kind of minute 5 or something like that, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
rushing
exactly.
in these kinds
The
of things.
timing
So
is super important. Yes, don't go over time. Nobody ever likes it. Uh,
mhm,
it doesn't make you look more professional or more knowledgeable. It just makes you look like more unprepared. People value their time, and also conference organizers, the schedule is something like really crucial for them.
mhm,
So nobody like, you don't want your talk to get cut, right? So this is why where the practice is key, because we will always think something takes less than it actually does. I have never
mhm,
seen
yes.
someone be like, "Oh, I did it faster." No, you do it less, double the time you thought you will do it, and that's what always happened to me. So practicing will help you really get perfect on time.
Also, I love to even like practice, like, and have 1 or 2 minutes less, like, because I
Yeah.
know that on the stage I don't need to rush. I can talk
Yes.
slowly. I can be confident because I know that I'm not rushing. And like what I'm usually seeing on these talks, people are putting too much in the presentation. So they need to rush. They, like it's so
Yes.
confusing even for them, especially for the
Yes.
audience. And like we are kind of like goldfishes. Like we can't pay attention more than like few minutes, and then we need to take a telephone, like we
Yes.
we are like addicts, like. So as less as you are putting, but bringing the value, that's like, because people will not remember everything. So if they
No.
are um, if they learn like 4 points, that's perfect, because in the 20 minutes talk we can't put too much.
Yes.
Okay, Aneta, thank you so much for doing this.
Sure.
I loved our session. We also did like the webinar on this topic, like, so any person that feels that like they would like to start, they can connect with us, just like
Mhm.
watch, like this, watch webinars, because there are so many topics and like value around this, and just like go there and start doing this, because the execution is really what will make you to the next step and get accepted with the first pitch.
Absolutely.
After you after you have been accepted with the first pitch, then everything else is just like falling
And like,
there.
if someone has questions, like, don't hesitate to contact me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to answer. And even if you need help with practicing, also like reach out.
Nice, thank you so much for that. Okay, Aneta, thank you and have a great
Thank
day.
thank you. You too, Adriana. Bye.